Hey, in this video we'll be creating an emulsified body scrub with potassium cocoate. I am going to put the name here, or so I thought, because it turned out to be I'll say a bit of a fail, probably like 50% fail, 50% not fail. I made a mistake during creating it. I wasn't going to post this video, but I decided to post it anyways, just to show some of, the downfalls and the things that you could run into while you're creating. I also wanted to know if you think it's a fail or a win, because towards the end of it, when I was testing it out, it's not bad, but it could be better, The first thing we're going to do is we add our stearic acid, and stearic acid is at 4%, which is 6 grams in this formula. And as you know, we put the stearic acid at the bottom because it is the hardest ingredient in the formulation. The next thing we want to go ahead and add is our shea butter. We're adding our shea butter at 10%, which is equivalent to 17 grams in this formula. Once those ingredients are added, we're gonna go ahead and take our combination of shea butter and stearic acid and put them to the side to melt so we can incorporate the rest of our raw materials. Now that phase A has melted, I'm going to go ahead and add my oil. We are adding our carrier oil at 10%, which is equivalent to 17 grams for the formulation. For this recipe, I prefer to use sweet almond oil. If you do not have sweet almond oil, go ahead and use you can use fractionated coconut oil. You can use, for the face, you can use metafilm seed oil. I love metafilm seed oil and safflower oils in my scrubs, so any one of those could work. All right, now that is added, I'm going to go ahead and mix it around a bit to break up the few pieces that solidified in the mixture. For this ingredient, it will be added to the formulation at 2%. Adding this at 2% is equivalent to 3.4 grams, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in. So once everything was mixed out, at this point, as I was making it, I noticed the result from mixing the oil and the potassium and also the stearic acid together, and I was kind of ignoring it because I remember when I just started and I was making a scrub like this before and it did the same thing, and it was really because the ingredients weren't mixing well together, but I still went ahead and made it and it felt decent, so I kept it there, when really this is where I should have stopped, because that's where I noticed, okay, something is wrong here. This isn't how an emulsified scrub is supposed to look, so this is something that I wouldn't sell, but I kept going anyway. So let's continue with the formulation. Since this is for my face, I decided to go with a plant-based fragrance oil, so it's not too much, not too heavy inside of it. Now the next thing we're going to go ahead and add is the start of the show, our brown sugar, because this is a brown sugar scrub. However, we are using brown sugar in this scrub because it has a softer texture compared to the other exfoliants or the other sugars that you could use. It is also great for someone with, let's say, sensitive skin because of how gentle it is on the skin. It is nice, it's soft, and the good thing about it is that it is gentle enough for sensitive skin, also providing us exfoliation to slow away those dead skin cells. I added in 1 teaspoon of coffee to the mixture. Oops, less than 1 teaspoon actually. You would think that after seeing the result of the scrub and the oils in this clip here, I would be like, something is wrong. I think that's kind of where I thought something was wrong, but I just assumed maybe I needed more sugar, which you can put a lot more sugar in this, and then the sugar will soak up the oil, so it won't be so much sugar at the top. But that's not what we were going for here. It was more of an emulsified scrub. I was going for something that I mentioned before. I have made this before. I don't know why it went left in this video or why I did all the things that I did. I think I was, being overly creative, so that's why it came out how it did. I did attempt to correct my mistakes here, where is mixing it and just trying to see what would happen. Here's the thing though, when I attempted to use this on my hand, just that it was more of a loose type of scrub. It was more of one of those loose, simple scrub, which honestly isn't a bad texture. Never feel too bad, but that's not what I was going for. Now look at this. Now it is a whole different color, because what I did off camera is that I added more potassium, which is kind of the right thing to do to give it that emulsified type of texture that I was going for. So it would make sense to add more potassium to it, but I added too much potassium. I think I ended up adding like 0.4, because I added 0.2 ounce at first, so I think I ended up adding 0.4 ounce, which is 0.6 ounce, which kind of increased the volume of the scrub, and it also made the scrub very sticky. Like, it does, the texture of how it looks in the video is kind of nice, because that would have been a nice texture for the scrub, but essentially I didn't really like how it felt. It felt too sticky, and I have a strong feeling that it had to do with the stearic acid being it, and maybe the oil, maybe not the oil, but I know the stearic acid played a part in that drag on the skin, because sometimes when you put stearic acid in products, it does give a bit of a drag on the skin. That's why cetyl alcohol has more of the cetyl alcohol, which is a substitute for stearic acid, has more of a softer, luxurious, lotiony type of texture, and I do prefer to use that. It's just that I have been using stearic acid a lot lately, so I think the next time I'm going to go ahead and opt for cetyl alcohol and see the result and see what if I like prefer that better. Actually, no, you're not gonna have to cetyl. I think the next time I'll just go ahead and do it with the original recipe, not be overly creative and add exactly what I had in the beginning. The recipe that you see here is a recipe that can be used to create this exact kind of fail formulation. However, it is a recipe that I have created before, excluding the stearic acid. So what happened is this: I usually make it, and I made it with the stearic acid before, and it did the same thing. It's separate because, of course, you know, the stearic acid and the potassium cocoate, the potassium doesn't mix together, right? So it is one or the other. You basically choose one or the other to get the desired results. And you know, sometimes you're creating, you know what you're supposed to do, but sometimes we psych ourselves out, you know, or we over create. We want to be so creative to the point that we just create madness in a way. So I think that's what was happening in this whole setup here. I was just trying to create something new, but it's strange because I was trying to create something new with an old recipe that I already have and knew what I needed to create in order to get the desired result to present a great video. So I think the next video I'll actually post is the correct version of it without the mistakes. I want to add that I did let it sit for like a day or two or even more than that, and then I used it after. The texture definitely changed. It was a bit thick, like it wasn't hard, but it was firm. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a firm, put together scrub. So it wasn't hard, and then I did tested it on my hand with, you know, some water to see how it feels, and I would say it lathered. So dry, it was good, and then when you add water to it, it lathered up really well. I rinsed it off. It wasn't as sticky as the first time I rinsed it off, you know what I mean? So would I use it again? I still would create it because I feel like I can still get that same type of texture without the stearic acid. The stearic acid probably just helped to make it a little bit hard, but I feel like I can get that same type of texture without the stearic acid. So that's what we'll do next time. Also, let me know below, as I mentioned earlier, if you would try this, if you would use it that way, if you like the texture it created, if you had no issues with it, you know, let me know what you think. I know this is a different type of video for me, but I just wanted to share this. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. And if you want to keep watching, go ahead and watch one of my other videos here. I don't know if you guys already know, but I sell digital skincare business downloads, from thank you cards to Instagram story highlights. I do have a Print My Brain session as well, and an e-guide as well to start your own skincare business on a budget. If you're interested in that, click the link below. If you enjoyed this video, then you may enjoy one of my other videos about how to make a simple whipped body butter, or just go ahead and watch my playlist on how to start your skincare business on a budget, and a lot of other informational tips and tricks as well. Thanks again, like and share.